What is going on, Panthers Nation? Carolina Dad here. Today, I'm going to be breaking down the Dan Morgan press conference from the NFL Combine. Shout out to my man Nick at Roll Coverage Pod. He does a lot of these reaction videos. And instead of me just trying to summarize what Dan Morgan said, I was like, heck, let me just pull it up. I'll also be doing the same thing for the Dave Canales interview. Let's go.
How's it going? What's up, Joe? Good. How you doing? So we're still working through those conversations. Actually meeting with his agent Todd France within the next couple days. We'll have a little more clarity on the situation after that, but we're working on it.
It's hard to hear there, but the question was from Joe from the Athletic. Situation around Brian Burns. You just heard it straight from Dan Morgan's mouth, working on it. Keep rolling.
I think right now all options are on the table. What those options are, we'll find out. I'll have a little more clarity on that after I meet with the agent.
All options on the table. All options on the table. Franchise tag, tag and trade. Everything is on the table, and that was confirmed again in a later interview that Dan Morgan spoke at while at the NFL Combine. We are running out of time. Again, the deadline is March 5th for the franchise tag. So that's something for you to keep your eyes on over the next few days.
Yeah, I think we would use it. We would definitely use it if we had to use it. And we love Brian. Brian's a Panther, somebody that I know and that I'm close to. I played with his brother, so definitely love Brian. But all options are on the table for him. We need some more playmakers. Obviously we have Adam Thielen, Mingo, but we got to add some more receivers, some more depth and competition in that room right now. And, we just got to get guys that can make plays. That's really what we're, looking at in the draft or whether free agency.
Confirming what we all know, that we need to get a wide receiver, and as he just said, receiver either through the draft or free agency, likely both.
Yeah. I think we're gonna, we have all intentions on re-signing Frankie. We love Frankie. He embodies what a Panther is. He's tough. He's got that dog mentality that we talk about. Nothing's guaranteed in this league, but we are going to try to extend him.
Another no-brainer, Frankie Louvu. Hope to have him back here in Carolina. But as Dan said, no guarantees, no guarantees that he's going to come back here. He is going to be a very coveted linebacker, free agent for any NFL team.
Yeah, I think so. We have had some talks with Drew Rosenhaus, his agent.
Not sure if y'all could hear that. The question asked was by Mike K around Derek Brown, and if he wanted to get ahead of the situation that Brown is going to be coming up against, which we just saw Burns go through. And so you hope that we figure this out. And of course, on the tail end of this, you're going to have JC Horn. But bam, right out of the gate, Burns, Luvu, everything around those guys, and then Brown.
I think we will look to extend him at some point. Derek's a great player, great person, and he embodies what a Panther is. Right. I'll really defer to our PR department on that. I kind of stay out of that stuff.
No idea what that question was. So there you go.
I think it's not just one priority. I think we have to add a bunch of depth all over the place. I think that we got to just add really good football players that are tough, passionate, play with a chip on their shoulder, and again, have that dog mentality that we talked about earlier.
Loves dog mentality. We know we need depth. Don't have a lot of money to spend, as you're going to hear me talk about in a later presser, but good to know. And hey, what I'm going to do is speed this up for my sake and your sake. I think we can get through the crux of this about 1.5 speed. So let's do it and let's roll.
I don't think it's just one thing or one position that we need to add to. We just got to get better at all facets. I think it's pretty high on the list. I think it's pretty evident that our offensive line, struggled at times last year. We got to get better in that area, and we're going to do everything in our power to make that happen.
Offensive line being addressed. Always know that we're going to need help with the offensive line.
Yeah, as of now, he's a lead back going forward. Him along with
Chuba Hubbard, lead back. He's also going to speak very highly of Miles Sanders. I saw this earlier.
Miles Sanders. I think they're two really good backs that I think can come along and keep getting better together. And I'm looking forward to seeing both of them under the new regime. I think definitely, to your point, I think that's a very valid point. Set in a firm pocket so Bryce can step up. I think that's really important to us right now. I think Icky, the plan is to leave him on the outside at left tackle. I'm excited.
There you go. Icky remaining at left tackle as we expected, even though fans are like, hey, we got to move this guy inside. Sounds like that's not going to be the case.
To see him develop under the new regime, the new offensive line coaches. I'm excited for that potential.
Not sure how much more development can be had or made, though, considering this is year 3. But hey, anyways,
Yeah, I think wide receiver wise, I think is a strength. I think it's pretty obvious. It's not a secret that we need to have more playmakers in that room. I think there's multiple positions that have players that we like and embody what we want, which is toughness and that passion for the game. Yeah, I think he's trending that way right now. Obviously, there's no guarantees. We still got have a little while until that happens, but it's trending in a good direction.
that was in regards to Shaq Thompson coming back in his health and status.
He's 23 years old. He's young. He's it's been 3 years in the league now. I think he's only going to get better and better. And I think when you bring the right coaches in, that maybe can help him out and get him better. I think that I'm confident in that.
Talking about Tommy Trimble.
Yeah, I'm really not going to get into scheme or coaches from last year. I'm just looking forward to him progressing and getting better. Icky's motivated to be better. He's hungry. I've had multiple talks with him on different occasions, and he's hungry to get better and be one of the better left tackles in the league. Yeah, I think it's a little bit, unfair. Him being a rookie, it's hard for rookie wideouts to come in this league and just, have instant success and just dominate from the get go. Again,
Hard for me to fully agree with that statement when we've seen year after year rookies, and this past year, quite a few rookies able to come into the league day one, make an impact. We need that. We can't make excuses for these guys. You got to be able to perform 700, 800, 900 yards. It's got to happen. Whoever we draft, if we draft a wide receiver at 33, needs to make an impact.
and a young player that's still developing, has all the tools you need to be a really good receiver in this league. And I'm looking forward to the future with him. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, to your point, I think Dave does a really good job of knowing his personnel and setting his personnel up, to achieve the best results. He knows what his players do good, and he's not going to ask them to do something they can't do. So, yeah, I think we're different
Talking about Scott Fitter, his relationship with him, and how they're different, which you'll elaborate on right here.
people. We have different philosophies. Not everybody has the same philosophies. When you're the final decision maker, it's always different. And I love Scott. He taught me a lot. We're still friends to this day. I'm just looking forward to the future.
Hopefully, they're not close friends to where he's still giving advice on players. Just saying.
I, I think no matter how many picks we have, we're looking to add impact players at every position. We want to build depth. We want to build competition on this roster. But the 33rd pick, that doesn't mean that we can't do that. So I think all options are on the table at that 33rd pick as well.
All options on the table at pick 33, meaning we could go best available player. A lot of people, again, thinking wideout, thinking offensive line, but whoever the best player is at pick 33, if available, and or hopefully somebody wanting to trade up and take someone in front of us. so we can move back and get capital.
Right. I think schematically, again, Coach Canales, I think he's going to do a great job of setting guys up for success, putting them in the right position, not asking them to do stuff that they don't want to do, that they can't do well. So I think from the tight end spot, I think we have some capable guys there that I think that we'll see them progress and hopefully help us in the future.
Yep. And earlier he was talking about Icky. I had flipped when he talked about Icky and Tommy Trimble. So there.
Yeah, yeah. Tommy's a really good athlete. He's really tough in the run game. I think he's actually pretty underrated when it comes to that. But I think the future is bright for him. I think he has a lot of ability as not only a receiver but also as a blocker. I think it's about improving the Carolina Panthers, not just Bryce Young. Bryce is just one piece of the puzzle. Obviously,
Yep. Bryce is one piece of the puzzle. Very small, important piece of the puzzle. Not saying he's small, but in the grand scheme of things, when you think about the roster construction, there's a lot that has to happen and being put
a
around him.
quarterback, and I get your question. But we're looking to build depth. We're looking to build competition, and we're looking to build a team that this city can be proud of. Yeah, I think it's really just about identifying the type of DNA that we want to infuse in our locker room, in our building. Bringing those passionate players, that love football, they love to compete, and they just love the game. So our conversations, we've had a ton of them. They haven't all been about that. They've been about scheme and just the future, and we're really excited about the future here. Yeah,
Passion is great. I want to see production. So you take passion, add production, and let's see what we can get out of that. Because you can be very passionate about something and just be terrible at executing. Let's execute.
yeah. I think it would be best player available. I think if all things are equal, that will go with the need. But yeah.
Best player available, pick 33 again.
I did. I did. I've actually known him since he's been a little kid. I work with his dad, John Idzik, and he was kind of a youngster, kind of around the office back when I was a pro scout in Seattle. So it's crazy how things come full circle, and I think it's pretty cool.
Missed that. What whatever Mike said.
Yeah, the our starting guards, they're progressing. Obviously, they had injuries and landed on IR last year, and I think both those guys are sick about that and
Brady and Austin talking about the depth at the guard position.
super motivated to come back stronger next year. But again, we're going to look to add depth and competition at every spot, not just the guard spot. So I think future wise, we're focused on the O line, but that's not the only position we're looking to focus on. Yeah, I think we're still working through things. Just talking to Coach Canales, working with Brand Tillis. We've had a lot of conversations just about the roster, what the future looks like. So we're still working through that.
All-star coaching staff. Cannot get over that. People asking about that.
I'm not going to make any comparisons on the staffs.
Thank
What
you.
I can say is I'm really excited about this staff. I think we have a lot of young and veteran talent on that staff, and I'm just looking forward to see them help our players grow and develop. Yeah, I do. I do. I feel like Coach Ijiro, I think, is one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL, and I
Also never heard Ijiro pronounced Ijiro. Almost like Ichiro, and I tweeted that one when this
think he'll be a head
happened.
coach here very soon. And just
Still
to
believe that
talk
he's
to
going
him
to be
every
head
day and see
coach, and I
his vision for the
agree.
defense, I think our whole scouting staff, not just myself, have a really good feel of what we want, and we're going to be able to go out and attack that. Yeah, I always think it's a 2 to 3 year plan. We're always looking ahead, always trying to look at future free agent
Whew, let's just not call it a freaking 7-year plan with Jay Z. My gosh.
classes, draft classes, just kind of see maybe where we're weak and where we can add in this year and supplement this year. Just a plan for the future.
Good philosophy, though. You're not going to be able to solve everything at once. Build, build for the future. Do not get out in front of yourself, over your toes, exposing yourself, contracts and players, and being overly aggressive. Take your time and let's do this right.
Yeah, of course, you want to keep your defense together, not only the coaching staff, but the players. We'd love to keep everybody together, but, with the salary cap, it's not always a reality.
Well,
Yeah, Brant's been great to work with. Me and Brant didn't know each other very well before this, but our working relationship, you would never guess that right now. Super smart guy, is really good with the cap, the understanding of the cap. And I'm really excited about our future working together.
it's great.
Yeah, I think Brant does a really good job of projecting the salary cap, so it wasn't quite a surprise to us that it was going to be that. So we have a plan moving forward. Whether that helps the franchise tag or not, that's still up for discussion. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Panthers Nation. It's Carolina Dad. Y'all have a good one.